Well, all my brain cells went out the window.
I think it was already like
Maybe it was that entertainment center I flew into when somebody was babysitting me.
Hey, look, man.
But this is the biggest gift. This is like the rest of our life. And me and Steven are like,
Walmart. And I would take out all the self-checkouts and actually hire people to check people out.
Yeah.
Because I'm so sick of these self-checkouts.
That's what you could wear to Honduras to protect you from the air.
Hey, you have like an hour worth of talking, okay? Leave me alone.
Guy, a little quieter, please.
Yeah, I'm talking, man.
We have time to think. And they don't want us thinking for ourselves.
OJ's wife's killed in Congress.
Yeah.
It actually killed the guy who created it.
All right. Season 2, episode 3. Yes, 3.
Talking about shed talk, where we talk about things in our shed. And we were talking about something before, and I want to hurry up and jump into that. Real quick, we have our brother. If you bump this table one more time, Colby.
He's been doing it the last time, and I did it once, and now I'm in trouble. Anyway, go ahead. Go back to what you were saying. I am a brother named Colby. Yes.
And then our other brother named Patrick.
Hi.
And then our other brother named Steven.
Our adopted son.
Hello.
Our adopted son. He's older than you. I don't even want to know that science.
Adoption. He gave me papers and I signed them.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's like the movie with Ryan Reynolds, the Bodyguard 2 or whatever, where Samuel L. Jackson and the girl, the Hispanic lady, I can't remember her name, but anyway, the only Hispanic I'm worried about is the one I'm engaged to. And they adopted Ryan Reynolds. He's like, I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we've always wanted a kid. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Or Steven. Steven, you're Mexican, right?
Yeah, you're Mexican, right?
But we were talking about, or y'all were talking about how Hollywood was trying to adhere to the people but control them at the same time. And then they got into the live action Disney movies and they were like, nobody actually wants to watch those. And I just thought of something like the cast for How to Train Your Dragon. I was watching this podcast last night. If y'all watched the Cobra Kai, right?
Yeah.
Y'all two don't watch Cobra Kai, right?
I don't.
No, but I've seen some clips and stuff like that. I know that I know a movie that's coming out soon.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got to talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
There's
Anyway.
conspiracy theories on that. We'll get to that in a minute.
Well, I don't
But,
know those, but
I do.
So the actor for Miguel and Hawk is like Solo and Jacob Bertrand. Anyway, they have their own podcast called The Lone Lobos. And I was watching that last night, and I think his name's Jacob Bertrand is dating Peyton List, which, once again, Steven and Patrick probably don't know anything about Peyton List. But you know Peyton List. She's on Jesse and all that. And you watch Cobra Kai. Anyway, so she was on it, and they were talking about... actually, I have... what I'm about to say has nothing to do with what they're talking about, so I'm not even going to say that. I was sitting there watching them sit together, and they were talking, and I was like, bro, that would be the perfect cast for the new How to Train Your Dragon live-action movie. Because Peyton List literally looks like the cartoon from How to Train Your Dragon, and Jacob Bertrand, he's a little scrawny, and his voice is a little higher pitched, and I was like, he could be the perfect Hiccup. That would be awesome. But anyway, we'll talk about the next Karate Kid movies.
Well, you do know the guy that voiced Hiccup in How to Train Your Dragon. He's also in The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah, good movie.
He would make a really good Hiccup if he was younger. Like, I understand they don't want it, but
Well, the later movies, he's an adult having kids.
yeah, like he would be a good he would be perfect. Because you can't say, well, they're not doing that. No, they're doing that with the guy who plays with Gerard Butler, who's playing the dad. Like, he's in there as the dad, and he plays the voice as the dad in How to Train Your Dragon. So it's something they're already doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what we were discussing earlier is like how Hollywood now they have all these movies coming out, and they seem to have lost touch with what their viewers want. And I think Colby had a different perspective, which I'll let him talk about. But I think they just don't know what they're doing, or maybe they do and they just don't care.
Well, I think my perspective is, y'all were talking about Constantine 2, where Keanu Reeves was saying I would want to play it, but they keep telling me no, and the people are like, no, we want this, and now they're doing it. And it's the same about other movies and shows where they just want to cancel them or not even make them. And people like Deadpool, they weren't going to do Deadpool, and then Ryan, my bad, not Ryan, somebody released footage not legally, so I guess illegally if you want to be technical, and people saw it and they were like, we want this movie. And then Sony or whoever, was it Sony, no, whoever, that they bought the rights from, Marvel bought the rights for Fantastic Four, Deadpool, and X-Men, whoever, Fox, it was Fox, was like, all right, well, I guess we got to make it now. But I think what it is they want us to think a certain way, and the best way to manipulate people into either normalizing things and manipulating them into getting what you want is to, like commercials. If they wanted you to go eat food, they'd put a bunch of food commercials up on in between in the commercial breaks, and then they done studies where they're like, that made people hungry. They saw the food up there, they constantly saw it, and they're like, man, I'd really want to go get me something to eat. That subconsciously thinking about it. Same thing with numbers. You sit there and you list off all these numbers, and then you say, what number are you thinking of, or what color are you thinking of? And then
it's like the law of something.
Yeah, there's a psychology law behind it. But anyway, so I think that's what they're doing with these movies. They want us to think a certain way and see and view certain things with their propaganda, whatever their ultimate goal is. And in doing that, they're making all these movies that none of us want. But they're making some movies that we want because people forget that the power of the people have a voice, and we want these movies. And so they have to make these movies. But at the same time, they're trying to make these other movies to draw us further away.
Well, that goes into like the PTB, which we had talked about with Eric. And yeah, essentially, I feel like it could be relatable to like the Revolutionary War, for example. Like the British had power until all the people stood up and said something about it. But the problem is that people aren't going to stand up and say anything about it because they're brainwashed by the media outlet of the PTV, which is the Illuminati.
Not even the media. It's the media, but it's also like when we were in school. There was a time where things were different, and people are like, well, that should have been that way back then. But like when I was in school, you weren't allowed to visit while you're eating. You had to hurry up and eat, and you weren't allowed to talk you weren't allowed to talk at all in school. You had to go to class. You had to walk in a single file line at all ages until you got to high school. And even then, you had 3 minutes to get to a class that was 5 minutes away. So you couldn't visit with your friends. You couldn't talk at lunch. And then you had to sit in these classes, do nothing but write down information, and then go home and write another hour's worth of information down. So you couldn't spend time at home with your family, friends, or your curricular activities because you got hour-long homework from all these classes that you're taking.
And that's something else that Eric talked about was
and you're not allowed to speak up. So if something was to happen, I know, I'm going to stop talking in a minute. And if something was to happen and you try to speak up, and they're like, you know what, you're both in trouble. You didn't do anything, but because he did it to you and you're associated with this situation, you're both going to be in trouble. You both get detention. This is what happens when you speak up.
Yeah.
Because I was told that. Anyway, go ahead.
That's what Eric talked about in that one of the 2 podcasts we did with him last season, which y'all should go check that out. But talked about how the school system was made to create workers for the workforce, and it was made back in the 1900s, 1800s.
Because I remember, I'm gonna say this one statement to finish what I was saying.
This is the cast that I think it should be for.
Yeah,
Hiccup and Astrid.
Yeah, there was this kid at one of the schools I went to that was having a hard time, and I went and told like the coach or principal about it, and they said, well, until he comes and tells me, we're not going to do anything. And if he does, and he eventually did, and everybody that was involved who spoke up got in trouble. So media, schools. It's all. I think they're all trying to find a way to basically dumb us down. Which it worked with me. They dumped me down pretty well. All my brain cells went out the window.
I think it was already like that.
Maybe it was that entertainment center I flew into when somebody was babysitting me.
Hey, look, man.
Hey, he almost drowned me. You got it good.
But anyway, the Cobra Kai movie. We're going to circle back to that. Karate Kid movie. So there's a new Karate Kid movie coming out.
Again.
And yeah, this time it's going to have.
I'm actually looking forward to this one.
It's got Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan in it. Jackie Chan is supposed to go see Ralph Macchio, and they're going to work together. But there's conspiracies that I'm seeing online where this is after Cobra Kai, and that's why Ralph Macchio looks defeated in the trailer, like he's upset and sad, because it takes place after Cobra Kai. And the conspiracy theories are, one of them, Miguel and no,
Robbie?
No, Blonde. The first bad guy, and who's now the good guy, the instructor. Why can I not think of his name?
Johnny Lawrence.
Johnny Lawrence. Him and Johnny go back to Cobra Kai and continue it, or the other conspiracy is that he was so saddened by an event that happened, because I don't know who's all seen it.
I have not.
An event that happened that only the Johnny and why can I not think of the characters' names anymore? The Asian dude.
Asian dude, Quan?
No, the instructor. The second bad guy.
Chosen.
Johnny and Chosen take over instructing because Daniel was upset about an event that took place. For whenever you do watch it, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's why they think that he looks defeated, is because it's after Cobra Kai and he's upset, like sad.
I'm so confused.
So as far as Cobra Kai Christmas shopping, right? It's almost Christmas time. Have y'all finished y'all's Christmas shopping?
Almost. I mean, all I got to do is get some gift cards. So
mine was pretty easy because my wife did most of the Christmas shopping for everybody else in my name, and then she makes an Amazon list and says, "Hey, these are the things I want." And I'm like, "Cool, add to cart." There's almost no, I do get things for her that are my own inspiration, my own thoughts, but she makes it so much easier because I'm bad at gift giving. I'm horrible at it. And that is not my love language. Her love language is gift giving. She can find the perfect gift for anybody. But me? And apparently I'm hard to shop for. I'm like, I don't know how hard. I don't understand that.
He has a dog right there, by the way. I was petting the dog.
He's petting this dog, okay. Salem. Yeah. He wasn't touching my private area.
Corn dog.
No.
I mean, technically, she is a little bit wiener dog, so I kind of was touching his...
Touching my wiener?
Ask me about my wiener.
No. Yeah, this is Salem. She's not my dog. She's his dog, but she loves me. Her uncle. Yeah.
She loves you because you have the blanket.
Yeah, because she's freezing cold. It's cold in here because we can't afford heat.
Yeah. We're in a shed.
Sheds don't have heat.
I'm surprised this is actually insulated. So anyway,
hey, it's got AC.
It's only insulated because I bought it this way.
To be fair, we live in Louisiana where it barely gets below 50, and it just happens to be one of the days where it is below 50.
Yeah.
Or at least it was.
There's an icicle on that light. Anyway.
It might be an icicle on my nose eventually.
Salem will lick it off.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think Christmas shopping in general is very
sadistic.
There's a lot
we're
of
using words I don't know. My brain cells can't comprehend. What does that mean? I'm kidding. You
like torture.
I do. Oh, yeah. I think it's very stressful sometimes because you're expected to get gifts for people, and sometimes I just don't that's not how I show that I think about you. That's not my love language, like I said. So if I don't get you a gift, it's not because I don't love you or don't think about you or don't care about you. It's just
I'm broke.
Yeah, I'm broke. I got bills. I got medical debt. I got student loan debt.
I just put a new roof on my house.
See, I was always taught by these rom-coms growing up, you know what I'm saying? That you buying something for a woman is just a cheap way of saying you love her, and it's not emotional at all. So I try to find a different way to do it, the way the rom-coms say to do it. And then now that I've grown up, they're like, you don't buy me anything. I'm like, because I was taught from the movies, not that. Oh, actions speak louder than words.
We can talk about it now because he's already proposed. So Colby was saying that his gift to Anna was going to be him proposing to her. And me and Steven was like, you need to get a gift. And he's like, but this is the biggest gift. This is like the rest of our life. And me and Steven were like,
That's not how that works.
Get a gift.
As some people who are already married, I would advise an actual gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got her gift. But I agree with you on the Amazon list. I saw a TikTok about a dude complaining about it.
Like, just,
He's like, why don't women just, create an Amazon list throughout the year? So what he said, this is what me and my wife do, which is also what you and your wife do. Create an Amazon list throughout the year, put what you want on it, and then
stupid stuff on there.
you can go buy something from it for Christmas. It makes it so much easier. Because the guy's like, I can go buy what I want throughout the year. I can go do that. And he said that because all I need for Christmas is you. Wrap yourself up and I'll be happy. But you need to create an Amazon list so that I know what to buy you.
right.
I told my wife what I wanted for Christmas. I think she's ignoring me, and I don't think she's going to get it for me. But if she's watching,
Was
That's for us.
she knows what I want for Christmas.
giggity.
He wants a Lego castle and
Stop talking about my Legos.
in Minecraft.
Minecraft.
He wants to make.
So you guys know children watch this, right?
I'll have
Specifically
to,
my children.
yeah,
Oh,
I'm
whoops.
bleeping a lot of this out, just so you know.
Steven, I have seen things that your children have watched.
What?
You.
Okay, he has a point.
I swear a lot. I'm told. As a matter of fact, Caleb one morning out of the blue told me, you swear more than anybody I know.
I don't even
was like-
remember that.
We were in the camper,
Really?
and you were like, you swear more than anyone I've ever met. And I'm like, I don't swear that much.
That's funny because me and him know at least two other people that swear more.
I must have hurt his feelings because if he remembers that,
That was a while
I thought it
ago.
was funny.
swear that.
No, I thought it was funny because Lauren says I swear a lot, but her dad swears a lot too. So
Well, I only say you swear a lot whenever we're editing these videos and we have to bleep out every cuss word.
Yeah, but
I
that,
haven't sworn once.
that was like, no, you didn't like the first 2 or 3 podcasts. But like ever since then, he hasn't said anything.
Yeah, that's because.
And the stuff that I'm about to bleep out on here, there's not bad words. It's just stuff that your children shouldn't be asking you about.
Or that YouTube doesn't like because YouTube algorithm.
Yeah.
But back to the Christmas shopping, like, who do y'all shop for? Like, for me, I said, I just shop for my wife and my child. So it's like,
I used to only shop for like our parents and siblings and Steven, but now it's since we started doing the Dirty Santa. I only
Secret
shop,
Santa.
My bad. Secret Santa.
There's a difference.
Whoa, those are two different games. Anyway,
They are.
the Secret Santa. I purposely only shop for whoever it is, and then my fiance. And then if I come across something that I think I can afford for everybody, then I'll get it for everybody, like when I'm traveling. But otherwise, bills are tight this year.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I used to
Same.
shop for everybody and I used to be the best gift giver.
I thought I was a pretty.
But-
You were the best at picking out for people, but I thought I picked pretty good gifts out for you.
yeah,
because
Kobe
I
always
always
had the best gifts. for
Caleb
me.
would go, PlayStation 4. Did I get the VR or did you?
You got me the PS5 and the VR for it, and a purple controller for the
and-
PS5, and and a red hood helmet. It's not like the fake plastic.
No.
It's hard, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know. This man just be getting me the most expensive stuff. And I'm just like, man, I'm broke. Quit doing it.
Well, I got him a
really-
PlayStation because he had a PS4, and I was like, all right, I need you to get a PS5, and they were hard to come by, so I got one from Walmart. A lot more expensive than what it should have been.
Yeah, he bought Caleb a PS5, but bought himself one.
I bought Caleb a PS5, and then whenever the PlayStation Store was like, you're in a queue now, you can order it at normal price. And I bought me one, and then I was like, all right, well, I need Anna to play with us too. So then I
So
bought
you got
her
a
one.
PlayStation.
Where's mine?
Yeah.
Hang on now. We're working on it.
Don't spoil the gift, Patrick.
Remind me to give you some money for that gift.
We just went over this. Bills were tight this year.
Yeah. So like, my wife and I are like half of the reason that we're doing Secret Santa with the family this year. So I used to buy gifts for everybody, but now I have a house and I
big
took
boy bills.
Yeah, I took a huge pay cut. So now I can't just be buying gifts for everybody anymore.
But now you don't have to work 7/24s back to back.
Yeah.
To be
But-
fair, he was off for 7.
No, because 2 of the days he spent driving.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then I worked.
And then the
till-
first day,
I mean, I'll cut that out.
the first day he got back, he would sleep. So
And then
he
he'd
spent a
work
whole day
at
driving back, and
his
the whole day
second job.
sleeping.
And then people would ask him to do stuff while he's off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got to go back to work.
Yep. Like you close your eyes and you wake up and you're back at Oklahoma or Mississippi or wherever.
Or Arkansas. Well, we never got to go. I loved going to Arkansas, but I never got to go back after a certain point because they were just
I
always
think the
fully
one
staffed.
state that I don't like going through is Mississippi. No offense to anybody who watches this who's
I
from
like
Mississippi.
Mississippi. Drive through Texas. That's the longest drive. You
My
ever driven
gosh.
across Texas?
What's right above? Is it Kansas right above Oklahoma? So we were going to Montana one time, and I had routed us through Colorado so we could see some mountains on the way up. But when we stopped at a gas station one of the times we stopped, my phone rerouted us to the quickest route. So we were going up on the east side of Kansas, the very east side of Kansas. And I was like, oh, that's whenever I realized that we're not taking the same route anymore. I was like, hey, do y'all still want to go see the mountains? They're like, yeah, I guess. So we took a detour to go to Colorado from Kansas, from the east side of Kansas. You know what's in Kansas? Nothing.
Tornadoes.
There's nothing in Kansas. There's no
That's
trees. There's no hills. There's no houses.
Have you
It's
seen
just-
Wizard of Oz? We know that.
Yeah, it's just flat land. And we go from the east, and it's a long state. If you look at a map, it's a long state. It's not very, you go from east. It was just hours of nothing. Hours of nothing.
So take all that nothing in Kansas.
That's what I'd
you
be
put it
doing.
right in the middle of Texas, and there's extra.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, Texas has its bigger cities, and those are great to go through because there's stuff there.
Yeah, but there's a
But
lot
when
of
you
land
drive
in
100
Texas.
miles, there's only like one gas station. You're like, wow, this is terrible.
And we went through Texas also, and it's like we were like 6 or 7 hours into the trip. And I'm like, man, we must be in this other state or this state or this state. And I look at the map, still in Texas. Like, what?
You can drive 11 hours and still be in Texas.
Yeah.
I think it's 11.
Texas is
11 or 12.
massive.
It's either the biggest or second biggest state that we have.
It's
think
the biggest
Alaska's the biggest.
continental state.
Yeah.
It is the second biggest
Isn't
state.
Alaska's the biggest?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. People in Europe, you'll tell them, I was driving for 11 hours and stayed in the same state.
Yeah.
They're like, what?
It took me 4 hours to get from one side of the country to the other.
Somebody actually pointed that out on TikTok. I saw the video. They compared the miles from like one country to the other, and then moved it over to the U.S. America from the same miles,
It
and
all
you're in the
fits
same
inside
state with the
Texas,
same
yeah.
miles.
I seen somebody take Texas and put it in Africa, and it took up like a third of Africa or something like that. Not
Depends
really.
on what part of Africa.
It might have been South America, but
Yeah.
it took up a third of whatever continent it was.
That way, if they ever decide to do whatever they're going to do, I might go visit.
I might go, if
Be
I
a
ever move
permanent
to another state,
resident.
if I ever move to another state, it's gonna be Texas. But anyway, we got one more topic to talk about. How are we doing on time?
Oh, dang, we blew through this really quick. We're at 25.
Okay, well, real quick, if we had any type of business or anything like that to monopolize in, where you would just buy out all your competitors and just make money, what would you pick? Steven first.
Easy. Walmart. And I would take out all the self-checkouts
Yeah,
and actually hire people to check people out.
yeah.
Because I'm so sick of these self-checkouts. It's like you go, and then there's an issue,
Yeah,
and then
they
you
got
have
to
to wait
hire
on
somebody.
but then they're across the store, and you're like, oh my god. And then if you get something wrong, that's your fault. It's like, no, I'm not a cashier. I don't know how this thing works.
They don't send me my W-2s after I check out my groceries.
I always tell my wife, if I wanted to check myself out, I'd buy a mirror.
And not at Walmart because you never take it home.
Colby, what would you buy out?
So, what's the goals? Is just, do we get
Whatever you want. If you want to make money off of it, then obviously do something that would make you money. But if you just want to see your name all over the place, you can do.
So, like, do I get unlimited financials to at least buy out the business?
It has to be monopolized in that particular field. Yeah. So you
Healthcare
can't just
system.
yeah.
Healthcare system. I would get a bunch of hospitals throughout the country and then have ambulances staffed inside of those hospitals and have those do the interfacility transfers. And then I would have another section of ambulances that would only solely ran 911s. And they could only go to the closest appropriate facility like it's supposed to be, and we couldn't enable them to go to other ones just because they don't like it or they didn't get the pain medication that they wanted or whatever. That way I'd make money off the hospital, I'd make money off the ambulance, I'd make money off the doctors, I'd make money off the medicine, I'd make money.
You have to make sure the crews took them to the most appropriate hospital, not the closest hospital.
Right.
Because we have that issue.
Yeah.
sometimes.
Unless you're on a basic unit and the most appropriate is the closest.
Yeah.
I mean,
Also, well, there's an ambulance service in Arkansas where they put it in their protocols. They had to go to the closest, no matter if it was appropriate or not, and they legally got away with it because it's in the protocols to go to the closest.
The only problem is you have a
that's a
tougher
delay
time
of patient
making
care.
money off it. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's a good point because if you take it to the closest and then have to turn around and do an interfacility transfer to another hospital, then you could make more money off of
Yeah,
that.
you make money off the transport there. You make money off the visit there up to
Yes,
like
the ambulance
24 or
company
30
does,
something
but you're
hours.
delaying your patient's care.
No, you're not, because a doctor has a higher level of care than a paramedic, hands down, all the time.
Maybe. But if they have a broken bone
Yeah.
and this hospital doesn't have ortho,
Then you're delaying patient care.
you're delaying patient care.
Yeah,
and
but-
if it's
okay.
a broken femur, there's a chance that femur could nick the artery
Yeah.
and they could bleed out and die.
I'm not talking about. This sounds really bad, and I do care about the patients, but we're talking about from a monopolization standpoint.
From a
Yeah.
You would make more money taking them to the closest facility, and then transferring them to the closest appropriate.
and if you own that other
but if
hospital,
you have the
make money
monopoly,
off that one too.
you're making all the money anyway.
Yeah. I think the idea to get them to the closest is let's get them to the closest so that they can be stabilized and then move them. But they don't always
this
follow
ambulance
that.
service I'm talking about. I've never worked for them. They did try to take over an area from a company I did work for, but the closest trauma facility was an hour and a half away. So if they have something that could nick an artery, you'd be better taking them to the hospital, getting checked in, whatever, or just sitting on the helipad and let a helicopter come pick them up if you're that worried about it. And if something was to happen to them, you're already on hospital grounds. Legally, they have to go to see that doctor. They can't refuse them.
So
Yeah.
that's what my partner and I do. And I really
And all
love,
I gotta do is on the helicopter, the ambulance, and all the hospitals in the area. I'd make money either way.
I really love that about my partner is he won't take it to the closest hospital. If they need to go to, say, ortho or this, that, or the other, if we can't get them there in a decent amount of time, we get a helicopter every time.
But anyway, Patrick, what would you monopolize?
I was thinking about that while y'all were talking, and at first I was going to go with what Colby said is healthcare, and then I'm like, no, I'd probably do communications. So I would monopolize all of the communications, and you know, and that's kind of what AT&T is trying to do, I guess. But
Legally, they're not supposed to be able to, but if they own multiple different companies, like
Legally,
Cellular
nobody's
Net,
supposed to be able to monopolize, but everybody's doing it.
everybody does it.
so I would do communications because communications, it's involved in all levels of, you know, pretty much every industry from healthcare to manufacturing to even the
Dispatch.
government.
Or
It's-
like the planes with the towers and I forgot what they're called. Yeah.
That's from 9/11.
So it's just one of those things where communications is everything. That's how we it's the modern thing that everybody needs. So communications is definitely what I'd get involved in and what I'd monopolize on. Would I improve it any? Probably not. But
You're starting to sound like our chief. Communication.
and I do work in I do work in communications anyway. But yeah, from cell phones to to radio, different radio frequencies to different things. So it's one of those things that it's in everything, it's everywhere, and it's what we need to use as a society. So it's one of the cornerstones of building a society, and it's been that way for since the written language. That's the reason why language is written, is because of communications. It's just
That's
transformed
also,
over the years.
That's also why we have a lot of
And
devices now that allow us to translate, and
Yeah.
a lot of just anything. Just us talking like this is communicating.
Yeah.
But also, if you're in charge of communications, that's also kind of like being in charge of the media. And so
Yeah.
you can control what can be said and what can't be said.
Right.
So
And I think I'd take the Elon Musk route and you can say whatever you want. I'm not going to control it. I'm going to let, I think people should have the freedom to say whatever they want.
yeah, freedom of speech.
Hurting feelings doesn't.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
Yeah. There's that comedian. He says it hurts your feelings. Well, hurt feelings don't kill anybody, or something like that. I don't remember, but yeah, facts don't hurt. Facts don't care about your feelings is a good statement.
Right.
I think I would say, so originally I was thinking what's the fuel people that they do the oil rigs and all that?
Yeah.
I would say something like that, because that'd make a lot of money. But
Well,
then I was thinking
they're monopolizing right. They make a lot of money right now.
I know, but then I was like, that's not as
Energy,
cool.
yeah.
So then I was like, well, maybe the healthcare system, like Colby said, but no, I want to be different. I want to do like private military
That's
stuff.
what I was going to change.
And
mine
like
to.
I could be outsourced by other people's militaries and stuff. And if you played Advanced Warfare, like Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, how they have Atlas, I would set it up just like that.
Yeah,
where,
I thought about that.
Basically how like the United States goes to all these smaller countries and puts up their little bases and helps out their government and stuff. Atlas basically did that in Advanced Warfare, except for at the end of the game. He Kevin Spacey, is that his name?
Yeah.
At the end of the game, he kind of like
He's not.
turned full Hitler and then was like,
Pretty sure Kevin Spacey's getting canceled. But anyway,
oh,
here or there.
anyway, but
For the same reason the Catholic priest got arrested,
Supposedly.
supposedly.
anyway, so
You mentioned.
at the end of the game, he kind of turned into a bad guy, and I wouldn't do that. I would be a relatively good. I guess I would always be a bad guy in somebody's eyes, but
You're.
Yeah.
It don't
would
matter
be way
what you do
cooler.
in life. You're going to make some people happy. You're going to make some people mad. Everybody's going to look at you like you're a bad guy or you're a good guy. It's
Yeah,
where
but
we are.
if you're a private military,
Let me be careful what I say, but
somebody's definitely going to hate
think
you. at all
about Trump.
times.
Okay.
Yeah, but usually those people haven't gone to high school.
Yeah, they dropped out in eighth grade.
They dropped out in 8th grade. Think about Trump, and that's how you'd get looked at as a commander in chief of a private military. You just got to be like, I don't care. I'm commander in chief of this military.
Hey, he didn't vote for Trump.
Oh, that's right.
That's not fair. Okay, I didn't vote at all.
They didn't let him vote.
Yeah, they didn't let
They
me vote.
wouldn't let him vote.
No,
Why were you?
He didn't register in time.
I registered ahead of time, but it wasn't enough ahead of time.
So
I
but-
just showed up.
Yeah, exactly. They had signs on the walls that was like, if you're not a resident of the United States, that's okay. We'll still figure out a way for you to vote all over the voting center. But they
Yeah.
told me that I couldn't vote because I didn't register in enough time.
because he's
Oh, you were at a different area. Like you were supposed to have voted in a different.
no, he didn't
Oh, you
register
just
in
wanted-
time. They
oh.
said that you got to do it in so many months in advance. But yet
I
there's
think my
posters
yeah.
on the wall that says if you're not a natural born citizen, we'll still let you vote.
Right. So I think I know somebody, I'll say it that way, that had that problem. Like they didn't register in time because they had never voted before.
Yeah,
Not that they weren't old enough to vote the last time, they just never have.
yeah.
Chose not to. Which is fine, that's their right. But yeah. So I actually just got my voter registration card in the mail the other day. But yeah,
still
no,
voted?
yeah,
Wait,
BS.
you weren't registered to vote before?
No, I was.
Oh.
The person I knew wasn't, and so they couldn't go vote. But
Yeah, this was the first election he was old enough to vote.
The last one, I was like a year short. I was a year short of voting the last one. But, and not even like a full year. It was like a couple months short. But anyway, I believe that's going to wrap it up for this third episode of Shed Talk. I hope y'all are enjoying it. I hope you watch more. I'm glad Patrick brought this up last one. I hope you watch all of our shorts. We're doing shorts. But chances are, if you're here watching it, you've probably already seen the shorts because we get a lot of our viewers coming from the shorts. So that's pretty cool. But yeah,
short form content.
it will help us out greatly if you like, comment, and subscribe. Jackson, I love you.
And you can turn on notifications.
Hit the notification bell.
You don't have to.
And please, I forgot to mention this last podcast. We're still doing, well, I guess we're not doing it because nobody's sending us videos. But we want to do, if you send us like these little videos of you saying, hey, you're doing a cool talent or just saying what's up, we'll put it at the end of the podcast and you can be in our podcast.
Even if you want to like say, hey, I watch this podcast and I do this on YouTube, we'll throw that on there too.
Yeah, you can like advertise your own stuff.
Yeah.
So whenever we eventually
We don't
do get
mind
a
collaborating. We like collaborations.
collabs. Anyway. Love you. Kobe, do your weird voice thing.
Like, comment, subscribe. I won't do the little drink thing this time.
I am Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime.
Yeah, I don't have that love voice.
It's because you still have hair on your head.
Got any grape?